Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Wednesday to you all. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios. Whether you are listening online or whether you're listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online at sportstalk1051.com. Your smart devices, like your Alexa devices, you've got the app, the Wisco Sports app. You can download that, take it on the go. Video stream up and rolling as well on YouTube. Multiple different ways for you to be tuning in. We got that Shoe Doctors bullpen line up and rolling. The Section 105 chats on our video stream also up and rolling. But making a turn on this week, what do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Let's get those trade horns out going. Eau Claire Express last night in a win or go home situation against the La Crosse Loggers, and your Eau Claire Express picking up the W. So they continue their playoff run, and well, there's no rest because they're back at it tonight against St. Cloud at Carson Park. So let's pack up the stadium, right? Let's get this thing going here. But close game, great game last night at Carson Park, and your Express, they continue to roll, baby. They continue to keep this playoff run going here. So kind of taking a look at the rest of the playoffs here, if you're kind of doing some scoreboard watching and such, as we mentioned, we got St. Cloud taking on the Express tonight. So, but yeah, let's get the season going. It's been a fun season. It's been really fun to watch this Express team continue their path to hopefully a Northwoods League championship. But just an overall solid season, awesome season from start to finish. And hopefully this will lead to a Northwoods League championship. But shout out to the Express last night, and best of luck to the Express tonight, taking on St. Cloud. So, speaking of baseball, the Brewers can't say the same thing, though, as they fell last night to the Padres. 11-2 was not a great game. Padres putting up a 5 spot in the bottom of the second right away. Brewers just couldn't get that. I mean, it was a weird lineup. You had players. Terang getting the start at short. You had Contreras batting in the fifth spot. Yelly in the sixth. I mean, it was injuries, I know, kind of factoring into this thing. Kyle Harrison was not sharp. I mean, he just went 4 2/3, gave up 8 earned runs on 10 hits, also issued 3 walks and 3 home runs. The Padres had a whopping 17 total hits last night. So the Brewers will try to avoid being swept later this afternoon with Dustin May getting his second start, but Robbie Ray, who was acquired before the deadline, is getting the start for the Padres. So, and then we've got the Dodgers after this. But Brewers banged up with Cooper Pratt on the injured list. Joey Ortiz has been banged up. So I guess they're trying to get through this thing. I know Jet Williams was banged up the other day at AAA. So going through a little bit of an injury spell here. Can the Brewers keep their heads above water and kind of get through this? Cooper Pratt sounds like now we won't see him until late August with a mild hamstring injury. So can they I don't want to be over dramatic here with everything, but I mean, you look at where things are at in the NL Central. You got the Cubbies, who are 8-2 in their last 10 games. Just 4 games back now. 4 games back from the Brewers. And if we do a little bit of scoreboard watching or taking a look at the upcoming schedule here, you got the Brewers taking on the Dodgers after this game against the Padres. The Cubbies will wrap up a series with Washington today, tomorrow, and then they've got the Cardinals. So, yeah, it's getting closer and closer and closer. But so we'll talk some Brewers baseball as we recap last night and take a look ahead to today's game, series finale against the Padres, and hopefully the Brewers can avoid being swept. So, what else do we got on the docket here this morning? We'll chat a little football. We'll chat the Packers travel day today for the green and gold as they get set for preseason game number one, and it'll be against kind of Green Bay East, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we've got a little football action here, and you talk about a team that's kind of going through some injuries here a little bit too, but we'll go through some of the latest from the last few days of what's been going on at training camp, including a little bit with what the plan's going to be with some of the starters for tomorrow's preseason game number one. Will we see Jordan Love? Will we see some of the starters get in on the action? We'll tell you what Matt LaFleur had to say about that game plan. So we'll talk a little football here this morning. Also on the docket, we're going to catch up. We're going to chat with Ty from Slab Factory. So he'll be joining us at 8 o'clock. I know we just had the Slab Factory Packs and Pints event this past Sunday. It was really fun. Was there for a little bit, so a fantastic event. But reminder, as always, if you have any questions for Ty that you would like to throw out, please hit us up with a quick text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. Also, since it is Wednesday, it's a What If Wednesday. So what are some what-if sports scenarios that you'd like to throw out there just for a fun conversation? And then we'll do a little, what are we doing here? What are we doing here Wednesday? So you can send those on over. Text them, 715-830-1912, or hit us up on the Section 105 chat room. So that's your game plan for us this morning. Let's get things going here, shall we? We'll take our first break, and then we'll get things going here on the leadoff, right? Let's talk some Brewers as we open this up. How concerned are you with what we've seen with from the Brewers from the last couple games here? Maybe not too concerned. You're kind of chalking it up with injuries, but you got to factor in the Cubs in the rear view mirror. Are you starting to sweat a little bit? You're starting to get a little bit nervous? Or you're just like, hey, it's a tough stretch. We'll be fine. Going to be good. We got this. How you feeling right now about your Milwaukee Brewers? Let me know. All right, that's where we'll lead things off. So we'll take a quick break and get things rocking and rolling here this morning. Coming up after these few words. The countdown to fall sports is on. From Friday night football to volleyball, soccer, cross country, athletes across the Chippewa Valley are getting ready to compete. But when injuries happen, getting the right care matters. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine specializes in helping athletes getting back in the game with expert orthopedic care, sports medicine, and treatment that you can trust. Whether you are a weekend warrior or a high school athlete chasing your goals, their team is here to keep you moving. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your partner in staying active, healthy, and ready for the season ahead. All right, let's lead things off here this morning, chatting a little Brew Crew here as the Brewers last night falling to the Padres of San Diego. 11-2 loss for the Brew Crew. A game that kind of got out of hand a little bit earlier. Off nights for Kyle Harrison. Hopefully that's just one of those. I mean, every pitcher's not going to be perfect or every great outing in that, but I hope that this was just one of those that you kind of forget and move on right away. But The line for Kyle Harrison last night officially 4 2/3, 10 hits, 8 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 home runs. Did strike out 3. I feel like Bryce Wilson is just the dude. He's been brought back on the club. It's like one of those guys. It feels like, all right, game's kind of out of hand here at this point. We just need somebody to go eat up some innings, go out there and do it. Don't really expect a whole lot, but I mean, he went 2 1/3 and gave up 3 earned runs too. So, and then Gary Sanchez shutting it down for the Brewers bullpen, going an inning and giving up a couple hits. But hey, no earned runs. No earned runs. But the team, well, they're dealing with some injuries here. As we know, Cooper Pratt's with a hamstring. Latest updates. Sounds like a late August return for Cooper Pratt. We know Joey Ortiz is also a little bit banged up. So the Brewers last couple nights have had to kind of get sort of creative with their lineup. I mean, the other night you had Andrew Vaughn getting a start at third base. Last night, Terang getting the start at shortstop. Brewers just trying to plug some holes here to get things going, but it's been kind of rough. It's been kind of rough, and then you bring in some newbies, some new bodies. And you kind of saw last night, too, maybe, talking about Bay and what could have been a triple play. Maybe just because of that chemistry, that lack of chemistry between a lot of the guys and some guys playing different spots affected the triple play possibility. But nonetheless, Brewers dropping the first 2 games of this series against the Padres. It has some fans out there kind of wondering, kind of questioning, should we be concerned? Or is it just one of those that, it's 2 games. They're banged up. They'll be fine when they get healthy. But also, do you have to factor in, the Cubs are now just 4 games behind. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. The schedule, let's call it what it is. It's a little bit easier for the Cubs going forward in the next few games here, where Brewers do have to take on the Dodgers after this. And I know the Dodgers have been struggling here as of late. But are you starting to maybe get a little tense, a little bit nervous where everything's at this point in time? On a scale of 1 to 10, how you feeling right now, Brewers fans? Are you a little nervous for your team? Are you a little concerned for your ball club? Or are you, let's talk next Monday and see where everything's at? Maybe that's what side would you be on? I'll be honest. I'm a little nervous because of the injuries, I think, mostly here for the Brewers. And last night, too, you add in that Bryce Terang has a sprained thumb, according to Pat Murphy, and he said might not be the best time. Contreras, he got struck in the arm. Murphy saying he'll be sore. I think everybody kind of knows that, has played baseball, has been struck in the arm. Yeah, you're going to be a little sore. But I think that's where I'm most nervous about with this Brewers team is the injuries starting to kind of pile on at positions and you kind of, it's almost like, to kind of compare to maybe a little football a couple of years ago when it felt like the Packers in the secondary and the safety, they were so banged up and they were shuffling players around, or, on an offensive line, you're just trying to plug holes and maybe moving guys to spots that they're not the greatest at. It kind of feels that way for the Brewers right now, trying to just plug some holes and keep their head above water. May not be the greatest. It might not be the greatest lineup out there defensively, or you're asking guys to play spots that they don't have a ton of experience at. I'm not concerned about Kyle Harrison right now. Let's see how he bounces back. I'm more concerned about these injuries at this point in time. Let's see how they kind of battle through this. That's where my biggest concern is at. Is can they keep their head above water and get through this little injury spill and still remain in first place in the division once you get guys starting to come back here. It's one of those. I mean, you can't predict it. It's one of those things in the sports, and we talk a lot about it, especially like for football and that. But, health. A lot of it is dependent on health. I mean, you look at the Dodgers last year. Why? They are one of the maybe only teams or very, very, very few teams that have so much depth where like last year they had a lot of injuries to the pitching staff, but they are so talented elsewhere, they were able to still, win a bunch of games, put themselves in a postseason spot. They got all those guys back right before the playoffs, and bada bing, bada boom. And you just hope that the Brewers, with a little bit of a tougher schedule here, are able to combat those injuries, get through these injuries, and once those guys come back, here we go. Let's go. But I think it's fair to be a little concerned with where the injuries are at. I'm not pushing the panic button by any means. I don't think we're there yet. But you just hope that these injuries to Pratt or even Ortiz or some of these other, now Terang with a sprained thumb. We saw last year with a broken thumb, how much it affected Contreras, especially from an offensive standpoint. You hope that's not the case when it comes to Terang. But you just hope that maybe after a couple games or maybe after a few games, maybe a week or two, a lot of these guys are going to start to come back. Even Frelick, I know he's, down in Nashville, but sounds like when he does come back, it's going to be more for a DH role because, well, he's not quite ready to throw with that shoulder injury. And it doesn't help matters, too, when you got offensive guys that aren't playing at the highest of levels. Christian Yelich being one of them. Yes, he hit the 2-run shot the other night, and he's been hitting a little bit better here as of late. 238 in his last 21 at-bats. Still needs to be better. But other guys, they got to step up. That's a guy like Garrett Mitchell, who has been really quiet as of late. You look at his last 30 games. He's only hitting .216. You want to narrow it down to his last 22 at-bats? Just 182. We got to get that Garrett Mitchell back that we saw, month or so ago? Where it was like, dang, okay, this is the Garrett Mitchell that we were all hoping for, that we were all expecting, or what the Brewers envisioned him to be. Especially if the Brewers are going to continue to bat him in that third spot in the lineup, like they did last night. Got to be a producer there. Contreras. I mean, offensively, 114 at-bats. His last $114, 114 at-bats. Dude's only hitting 175 and only slugging 289. Just got to get better offensively from some of these mainstay players on this Brewers squad. They've got to be better. And hopefully, if you take a look at it from a glass half full approach, let's maybe look at it from this where it's like, okay, let's get this funk out of our system right now. Once it comes playoff time, hopefully they're getting that momentum, because you're going to start to hear people saying, well, did they peak too early? Did they play their best baseball too early? And it's one of those, how do you control that? Tell guys, hey, just dial it down a notch and then pick it back up closer. You can't do that. We got to take a quick break. Plenty more Brewers talk, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you right now with the Brewers? Yeah, you might say it's only a couple games. You're right. It is only a couple games. But I think, do you factor in how well the Cubs are playing? And now you look at where things are at in the standings, and you look at the upcoming schedule here with the Brewers wrapping up against the Padres, a better Padres team right now. You've got Cubs wrapping up with the Nationals. Cubs look at last week, right? How they defeated the Dodgers. Now you got the Brewers taking on the Dodgers. Cubs are going to be taking on the Cardinals. He's starting to sweat a little bit. You're starting to get a little nervous with the Cubs right behind you. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm not full panic mode, but I'm feeling it a little bit. Of course. But where are you at? Let me know. We'll take a quick break. Preview today's Game 3 as the Brewers will try to avoid being swept. And it's a couple pitchers with making another start with their new teams. Two pitchers that were dealt before the deadline. Dustin May for the Brewers, Robbie Ray for the Padres. We'll preview this game coming up after these few words. You know what happens every year? 1 minute, you're grilling some burgers, heading to the lake, and watching the kids play outside, baseball games, and the next thing you know, you're shopping for school supplies and wondering where summer went, and maybe starting football practice like we just did the other night. Man. Well, before the backpacks come out and the busy fall schedule takes over, now is the perfect time to freshen up your home with some new flooring from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether it's soft new carpet for the family room, durable luxury vinyl planks like some Ridge and Max flooring for the entire home, the team at Carpet City Flooring Center will help you find the perfect floor for your family and your budget. They're locally owned, they know Wisconsin homes, and they're committed to making the process easy from start to finish. Make the most of these last weeks of summer. Stop on into Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire today, because home is where Wisconsin families make their best memories. Taking a look at some of the texts, it looks like a lot of you are, if I had to average it out, 5.5. I got quite a few people. If you're just joining in, I asked on a scale of 1 to 10. Just asked, where are you at? Maybe on a concern level here for the Brewers, considering what we've seen the last couple games, looking ahead to the schedule, and looking at some of the injuries here. So, not going through all the texts because there's quite a few, but just kind of mathing it. Off the hip, I'd probably say 5.5 is where the average is. It's okay. I can get that. I understand that. Yeah, I think my biggest concern here is probably injuries for the Brewers, and it's just coming at a bad time when you look at the schedule. So, at least on the positive side of things, it doesn't feel like it's going to be long-term stuff, but who the heck knows, right? Let's take a look at today's game. Preview this as the Brewers will try to avoid being swept by the Padres. We got a couple of pitchers here that are making another start for their new teams. On the Brewers side of things, it's Dustin May going for the Crew, making his second starts with the Brewers. And on the flip side, you've got Robbie Ray going for the Padres. So now, when we look at these lineups, there's a few batters that have quite a bit of experience. I mean, these are two veteran pitchers, so they've been around. So, yeah, you're going to have some experience with some of these guys. Now, from the Padres lineup going up against May, remember, because May also played for the Dodgers quite a bit too. But Bogart's 14 career at-bats is just 143. I'm kind of going through some of the players that have a lot of at-bats against him. You've got Cronenworth, who's 19 career at-bats, 263. Manny Machado, 37 career at-bats, 270, including a couple of dingers. You've got Tatis, 28 career at-bats, a dinger, and 250. And then you've got others like Sheets is 9 career at-bats, 111. Renifo, 7 career at-bats is 429. And that's, yes, Luis Renifo, who right now this year, I mean, since he's left the Brewers, he's been playing a little outfield here, but he's hitting 280 in his last 7 games because, of course, he is. Brewers could probably use him right now. On the flip side, you got Robbie Ray, left-handed pitcher, And Vaughn and Yelich have the most career at-bats against him. Vaughn in 15 career at-bats is just 200 with a home run. Yelich, 16 career at-bats, 250. Other than that, not a ton and not some great numbers. You've got Sanchez with 8 career at-bats, does have a home run, 125. Contreras, 5 career at-bats, 200. Tarek, 5 career at-bats, is 0 So Cheerio, just 3 career at-bats, 333. Now, a little bit more on Robbie Ray. His last game against Houston did get charged with the loss. He went 5 innings, giving up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 5. That was a big thing. Walking 5 in that game. But July, he had a really, really good month of July and a fantastic month of June. I mean, in the month of June, 5 games started. He was 4-0 with a 1.36 ERA. July at 5 games, 3-0 with a 2.00 ERA. So maybe you chalk up that first appearance with the Padres as, okay, new guy, coming in, a little bit of an unknown. Maybe you kind of, just like, okay. Because you look at what he did in June and July, dude pitched at an incredibly high level. And that was after a down month of May. So with the Brewers offense that's banged up, struggling here a little bit, it's going to be a huge test. It's going to be a really tough test. Dustin May, he had a quality start in his first appearance with the Brewers, picking up a win against Pittsburgh. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. So you would imagine, hopefully, more comfortable, more familiar he gets with him and Contreras and Sanchez and the rest of the ball club that, all right, we'll get more games like that. He set the bar high. It was a quality start for him. And really, when you look at his last couple games here, I mean, he's been pitching at a pretty decent level. Even when he was with St. Louis, his last game against the Cubs, 5 innings, just 1 hit, no earned runs. Again, Cincinnati on the 24, 6 innings, 1 earned run. So, I mean, his last 3 outings have been pretty darn solid. Pretty good. Can he continue? Because the Brewers are going to need him. Boy, they're going to need him today to go out there and, kind of pick up Kyle Harrison from last night. It's just, is the Brewers offense going to do their part? Are they going to be able to go out there and give him some much needed run support against a very tough start with Robbie Ray on the mound too? First pitch 3:10. You can listen to that game on your radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Coverage began 35 minutes prior. So, yeah, a few more of you kind of chiming in. It's about 5.5. The highest one I think we've had is Bo saying 8. But everybody else has been around 5, 4, 6. But C-Bomb says, good morning, El Capitano. Welcome back. You can't go away again because the Brewers start sticking when you do. Great job by you and the excellent turnout at the Casper Classic. Looking forward to some Packers preseason ball and seeing what's going on in the cornerback room. So far, I like the energy I'm seeing out of Gannon, and hopefully that translates to the defense. Now, big-time shout-out to all the golfers that were there for last Friday for the Classic. Big-time thanks to everybody who stopped by to support it. It's all of you. It's not me. It's all of you. It's the golfers. It's the partners. It's the supporters. It's the volunteers. So big thanks to the rest of you. But thanks for the kind words there, C-Bomb. It was good hanging out with you last Friday too. So, yeah, we got some football to talk about here too as we get set for preseason game number 1. How much would you like to see the starters play in tomorrow's game? Matt LaFleur maybe gave us a little bit of a hint on what that plan is going to be. So let's kind of talk about that as we finish up the first hour, shall we? We'll take a quick break, and we'll start to wrap up hour number 1 after these quick words. If you're from Wisconsin, you know that there is something special about this time of year. The days, they're getting a little shorter. The evenings, they're cooling off. And before you know it, hunting season will be here. That means now is the time to get your gear ready. Whether you need a new firearm, ammunition, or optics, or maybe just some advice, make Tilden Gun your first stop. The folks at Tilden Gun aren't just there to help sell you equipment. They're hunters too. They know what works. They're happy to answer your questions, and they'll help make sure that you're ready long before opening morning arrives. So don't wait until the last minute. Stop by Tilden Gun, get geared up, and start counting down the days to another great Wisconsin fall. Tilden Gun, helping Wisconsin hunters make the most of every season. Happy hunting and good luck, and be safe in the great outdoors. So, few things here. So, the Packers, it's travel day today for the Pack. No practice at training camp as they get set for preseason game numero uno against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. It sounds like we may see a little Jordan Love in action and even a little Aaron Rodgers in action. So, Matt LaFleur saying the other day that does expect Jordan Love and some of the starters to be playing in the game. Now, it could change. How long they will play, that remains to be seen. But he did say as of right now, Love will play. But he said that there is value in getting mentally prepared to go play a game. And he did say that some starters may play longer than others. I think a couple more things that have really maybe popped out from practice the last few days, just playing a little catch up here. And I think one of it is, or first one is, Anthony Belton, I think, is in real danger of losing his starting spot. And he's acknowledged it, that he's got to be better. He's got to play better. He's got to practice better. Seems like Jacob Monk potentially could be in that running, or maybe Monk playing at center, Sean Ryan going over to guard. But you got Burton, the rookie, who they're really high on too. So Anthony Belton, a second-round pick from last year, looks like his spot might be in real danger. And then Keyshawn Nixon, now I know this was last Friday, but if you're watching a little bit of Family Night, Matthew Golden roasted him. I mean, Matthew Golden, and there has been practice clips, Keyshawn Nixon, and then it was shortly the first practice after Family Night. Keyshawn Nixon was getting reps with the twos. Heck, he was even getting reps with the third-string defense. But then yesterday's practice, he was back with the starters. But it's hard not to look at that and say, okay, how long is the leash for Keyshawn Nixon? I still think he will start the season as a starter, but you have to question, you have to wonder, where's that leash? How long is that leash? To me, Brandon Cisse, he's a starter. When we look at these corners, if there was one guy that I feel like if we were to rank him or to power rank him in terms of who's the best, just based off of what we're seeing in some of the reports, Brandon Cisse might be number one. Number two, it might be the shoulder shrug emoji. Benjamin St. Juste was getting some reps with the ones with Brandon Cisse when Keyshawn Nixon was out. Or kind of relegated to the twos, if you will. But this is where I'm looking at preseason, these games now, and saying, all right, what do we got with this cornerback group? What's the deal here? Carrington's still out with the I don't know if he's going to play, but I don't know. Javon Bullard's banged up. He was in a walking boot, but for what it's worth, he did say if there was a game to be played, he'd be playing. I think maybe a little cautious here. Outside the safeties, you look at this cornerback group, and it's like, oh, Jonathan Gannon, we got to see that creativity, man. We got to see what you can do with this group. That three safety approach might be beneficial to help with the coverage. I ain't feeling great. I don't want to overreact too much from just practice stuff, but seeing, Matthew Golden and some of these other guys just torch Keyshawn. And good on Matthew Golden. Seems like he's had a heck of a training camp so far. But I don't feel the greatest about it. What are you going to be kind of really looking for, paying attention to, following along with the first training camp game, or preseason game, excuse me, coming our way tomorrow? I'm looking at the corners. I'm looking at the offensive line depth. Those are probably my top two, to be honest with you. All right. We got a few minutes left to the top of the hour. Continue to send me how concerned are you with what the Brewers are? Our good buddy Mark says that guy that looks like a lumberjack in a Brewer uniform on the mound today is going to get us back on track. He fits Brewers, doesn't he, Dustin May? If you were to Bob Ross paint a Brewers player, pitcher, I feel like that would be kind of the image that you'd come up with. Kind of, sort of. But a few of you still, it's probably about 5.5. Probably about 5.5 on a scale of 1 to 10 on how concerned you are for the Brewers team. Josh Jacobs, to ask your question, Bo, he's been dealing with a groin injury. That's why he's been out of practice here. So, knock on wood, Marshawn Lloyd. That's the question, too, is like, okay, preseason game number 1, how much do you play Marshawn Lloyd? Do you try to continue to preserve him just in case? Or do you try to get him some reps because you still don't know what you got with the guy? That's the balance. All right. Keep those thoughts coming, all right? And let me know, too, what are you going to be watching for in preseason game number 1? Don't forget, it is a Wednesday. It's a what-if Wednesday, so give me some good what-if scenarios, all right? Give me some good sports what-if scenarios. Also, what are we doing here Wednesday? Have some fun with this one, okay? What are we doing here? What are we doing here with this? What are we doing here with that? What's a sports story out there that you'd say, dude, what are we doing? Have fun with this one, all right? Let's have some fun with that. So continue to send those on over. We'll get to some more of your thoughts. Let's wrap up the first hour with Morgan. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, thanks for the Man Cave mug. I felt pretty special when I walked into the newsroom and it was on my desk. Yeah. And then I took a rounds around the office and realized that there's one on everyone's desk.
No, there isn't.
Oh, would you pick and choose like a kid who brings cupcakes for everyone in the class?
I know. I know how to do this.
Okay. So then there are a select few people that didn't get a Man Cave mug. Oh, okay.
Correct. Ones who wouldn't appreciate it and then just doing some sucking up. So
I really like them. They look sharp, so thanks for that. Okay, Wednesday wildcard time. That's where we get to dig into the pile of rando questions, and you answer one for us. Pick a number between 1 and 35.
32.
Have you ever had a premonition about something that came true?
No.
Never?
Nope.
No dreams that indicate, no feelings, no spidey vibes?
Nope.
Do you believe in that kind of stuff?
Maybe about 30% of it.
Okay, so like...
It depends on how much Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries can convince me.
Or the fog machine?
Yeah.
True or false, you would visit a psychic?
I've thought about this.
Okay. Share with the class.
I've thought about this.
I know you have. So does the psychic.
I'm intrigued with it.
Okay.
I'm intrigued with it, but I'd want to go in very guarded to really test them. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, you would. You would set up the questions and like you would basically quiz them. You would make them, pass fail type of thing. Right.
Don't be so generic. Be like,
you'll experience a change soon.
Yeah, that's crap. No.
Okay, so what is there a specific specific question you would ask a psychic? If you could get not like lottery numbers,
no,
but like an actual Dan Casper.
What happens when we
specific?
Die?
That's not a psychic question.
Yes, it is.
That's it's like the philosophical
Are we talking
question.
like psychic, like somebody's trying to contact you?
No.
Or,
let's do psychic like they can. Let's say you have a question about your life or a question you're struggling with or a peek into the future.
Then that type of psychic, no, I don't have any interest in.
But maybe like the other side you're into.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
What about a smell that brings back a vivid memory for you?
Probably, well, I've got a few favorite smells.
Okay.
Charcoal grill on a fall day.
Nothing like it, especially if it's tailgating.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like a whole energy.
Lambeau Field vibes.
Yep.
Leaves, because it's bow hunting season.
The crunch of them.
Yep, that too.
Especially the squirrels that have your head whipping around.
Wet too, and that leaf smell.
Okay.
Fresh cut grass, because it reminds me of the golf course.
Okay.
So, yeah.
1 to 35. Okay.
One more.
Okay, we
Pick
can
the
do
number.
this. How about a